Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praise and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone. And salutations and greetings to you brothers out there laboring and doing this work in truth and sincerity. And, we're going to go into America being Mystery Babylon. That's prophesied of in Revelation 17 and 18th chapter. Because you got false prophets out there, mainly Nazarite Allah and the Israelite tried and refined camp coming against the true doctrine and true teaching of America being Babylon the Great. So, just goes to show that you can't do nothing against the truth but for the truth, because the Lord is going to pretty much put it on the spirit of his true prophets and his true servants to rightly divide the word of truth, and to bring down these strongholds in this last day and time. So, would you holding anything up?
I just got Psalm 137. You want something different?
No, you go right ahead.
This is Psalm 137. Slovakia. Bible's falling apart. This is Psalm 137 and 8. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed.
Right, the daughter meaning the future, setting of Babylon. Not previous Babylon.
Mm-hmm. Happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dashes thy little ones against the stones.
Right, because, this place being the chief center of our captivity, what did they do to our people in captivity? They fed our babies to alligators. They hung and lynched us,
Yeah, they crushed our babies, what was it? That asshole, that devil Andrew Jackson, when he was going against the natives to save bullets, he would take babies and crush them under his boot. So, and that's a devil that a lot of these devils reverence. That's one of their famous people in history.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you get that bullshit story Pocahontas from. And yes, it's a bullshit story. But, that's for another day and time. But this lesson is about this America being that daughter of Babylon, because the Vatican City, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou rewarded us. The Vatican City didn't reward all that trouble to Jake as America did. So, and this is just distinct differences that the Vatican City has as opposed to America.
Okay. This is Revelations chapter 17, starting at verse 1. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, and I will show thee of the judgment unto the Salakia. I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
Right. The great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Now, if you look at a map of the Vatican City as opposed to a map of America, America sits on several different bodies of waters. The Vatican City is in the middle of a land. So that's a distinct difference that the Bible is pointing out about Babylon. That the whore that sitteth on many waters. If the land that it's talking about don't sit on water, then it's automatically X'd out as being that Babylon that the scriptures is talking about. Being that the Vatican City sits in the middle of the land and touches no bodies of water, that automatically X's it out as being one of those cities, or as being that mystery city.
Because what was one of the greatest exports to this city is us Israelites being shipped from the western parts of Africa, from Europe to this land, which was called the transatlantic slave trade.
Right. Matter of fact, just a quick precept. This is Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Yeah, 28 and 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Right, because, once we got to the shores of America, I mean, what happened? They had, auctioning blocks for the Jake slaves that came off the slave ships.
And shalom to you, Akim, that just said shalom to us.
Shalom, Akim. So that was part of the first major export that, major import rather, that America received, was because, that was the so-called Jews financing, the slave trade,
Right.
and us being sold as slaves.
And Ra'al and Ba'amath just put America is also a great melting pot, because most of the nations is all also in America, not as opposed to the Vatican City. Most of the nations don't dwell in the Vatican City.
It says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Because once Esau came into power, and America was established, all the other nations came into doing trade with America. That's how these other nations became rich once they took the American dollar, as the chief currency,
And it also says drunk with the wine of her fornication. We used to always bring it up that the wine of America's fornication is that democracy. And they force democracy, or they attempt to force democracy on every country that they deal with. And when a country don't take kindly to democracy, they basically start going to war with them.
It says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, which scarlet means, red, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. All right, so that blasphemy being the lies that's spoken against the truth about our heritage, about us as a nation of people, about the Most High and His Son. And the 10 horns, which represents the 10 kingdoms that where Esau, rules around the world,
Okay.
And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, so purple, represents royalty, because, America at one point was represented as the chief place of royalty as far as, Esau's rulership. And decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hands, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornications. Because pretty much you got all types of wickedness that goes on here, as far as homosexuality and lesbianism, pedophilia. You got women's liberation, where, women are free to be whores in this society and without being checked. You got like transgenderism, they promote all that type of wickedness in the school system, where, they got opposite day, they got Pizzagate, secret underground ranks for pedophiles in these secret societies where they get to practice sexual magic, on little boys and shit like that. Let's see. So it says, having a golden cup in her hands full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. It says, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Okay? because basically this place is the mother of that, because all the other nations took hold to that, and it's pretty much following that same exact trend all over the globe.
Mm-hmm.
So you still got these other nations who are opposed to democracy, like the Middle Eastern countries, that fight against that because they don't want the same wickedness that America is pushing throughout the four corners of the earth in their land.
And I got a quick precept. This is Isaiah 14:12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut off? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
Right. So and it's not talking about Lucifer like these as far as Satan
Okay.
being exalted onto heaven. It's talking about America, that chief city, which is exalted onto heaven, or a place of high esteem, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Like an example where Yahushua prophesied against the city of Capernaum. Although it was exalted onto heaven, it should be brought down to hell. Which means a low state. Because like the city of Capernaum, that place was overthrown and destroyed by the Romans. During the siege of Jerusalem. Pretty much America is going to be thrown down with violence. With race wars, with martial law, and then to top it all off, the ICBM missiles.
I got a quick precept. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and bring forth the instrument for his work. I have created the waster to destroy.
Right. The smith is talking about the scientists that made the ICBM missiles.
Mm-hmm.
That has the capability of destroying five city states at once.
Okay.
And it's going to be over 200 million of those things shot to the ends of the earth. So it's going to level and destroy this entire continent, this entire landmass of 9,500,000 miles of land all across North America. That's going to be completely wiped off the earth. It's going to be made into a desert.
Mm-hmm. I got Isaiah chapter 13. You want me to start there?
Okay.
It's Isaiah chapter 13:1. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah son of Amos did see. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. Exalt the voice unto them. Shake the hand, that they may go to the gates of the nobles.
Right, that banner is this truth going throughout the four corners of the earth.
And that banner did not start off in the Vatican City. Remember, this is a vision that Isaiah saw. Isaiah saw in Babylon.
Because how are we going to the gates of the nobles when we go out to the highways and hedges? Because these Edomites, since they're in their habitation, in their kingdom, they will be considered as the nobles of this society. While we're esteemed as the peasants.
And you don't see no major movement like that going on in the Vatican City of Jake just waking up, going to the highways and hedges, and prophesying the downfall of that place like this, man. So this is another prophecy that sets America as being Babylon the Great apart from the Vatican City. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also
there
called...
There it goes again. Who are the sanctified ones? The prophets. The prophets of Israel going out there on the highways and hedges, pushing his word.
I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of the nations gathered together. The Yahweh of hosts mustereth the host of the battle.
Right. So all of these nations is getting ready to go to war with Esau. You got Russia and China and Korea that formed the BRICS nations to go against NATO and the EU. You know, and America being at the forefront of NATO and the EU. So that's pretty much taking place in prophecy, where the Most High is setting it up for Esau's army to be completely destroyed and dismantled.
They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land.
Where is Russia? All the way on the other side of the earth. You know, we're all the way up above in Asia.
Good. And it said the end of the earth, Russia and the other nations are all on the other end of the earth. Also, the Vatican City is on the other end of the earth. So, if Babylon was the Vatican City, then that would make the Lord a liar. Why? Because then the missiles or his weapons wouldn't be coming from the end of the earth. Because, hey, it just makes too much sense. Because those other nations are right around the same area as the Vatican City. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt, and they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. And that was it on that. I mean, I could read more, but, that's pretty much the point, because the missiles are going to be shot from the ends of the earth, which is America is on one side of the world, and the Vatican City is on another side of the world, along with the other nations. So, I mean, that's several strikes already against the Vatican City being Babylon. One, it's not surrounded by seas of water. Two, it's on the other side of the earth with the other nations that's going to destroy Babylon. So that it can't be Babylon. Three, the children of Israel were supposed to go into captivity in Babylon and go by sea. So the Vatican City, I mean, these are just clear strikes against that doctrine. It can't be Babylon.
And then going back to in the precept of Psalms 137 and Isaiah the 47th chapter, as far as this place being the daughter of previous Babylon, it says as far as the second definition in the blue letter,
So I kept it on that side, yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know if you can see it. I'll just read it. It says, as designation of women of a particular place. So that's why this place is, it's called the daughter of Babylon. As personification. It says description of character, So this same because this place has the same characteristics as ancient Babylon, as ancient Egypt, as ancient Sodom, because it's all of the wickedness of those kingdoms put into this kingdom. That's why it's known as Mystery Babylon the Great. Still got more on that because I was just going to go into the 6th verse. And it says, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints.
Drunken with the blood of the saints. The Vatican City has not killed even close or murdered even close to as many Israelites as America has done. Actually, there's no place on the planet that murdered close to any Israelites as America has done.
Now, as far as the Borgia family, which was part of the the Pope, Pope Alexander the 6th of Rome, they authored Christopher Columbus' voyage over here, and as well as you'll find that the Pope or the Vatican was the ones who authored the enslavement of the Israelites to begin with, you know. But it was really over here in this land that, when you do some research into slavery and the slave trade, that this place became drunken with the blood of the saints through them colonizing this place and taking over Gad, Reuben, and the Latin tribes' land. That's how they became drunken with the blood of the saints, because this place was established on, the slaughter and the enslavement of the Israelites. And with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua, which is coming in the near future, because you're going to have martyrs of Yahushua that die for this truth as well. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Okay. Also, I'm gonna go to verse. I'm gonna go to verse 14, because like the brother was bringing out, as far as all of these different nations being gathered for war, because that's what the Most High is stirring up in the earth to bring this place down, as far as this place being the last ruling empire that will come before the kingdom of heaven is established. This is Revelations 17, verse 13. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. All right. So what is these nations going to do when Yahushua makes his appearance, his second coming, with the angels and the chariot vehicles in the sky? They're going to make war with Yahushua and the angels, and that's when Yahushua is going to, with ease, pretty much put down Esau's kingdom, So,
Yeah, I got Zechariah chapter 2. I'm going to start at 5. For I, saith Yahweh, will be unto her a wall of fire round about, and will be the glory in the midst of her. Ho, ho, come forth, and flee from the land of the north, saith Yahweh, for I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the heaven, saith Yahweh. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon.
There you go.
And, and it said, flee from the land of the north. The Vatican City is not the land of the north. America is still to this day known as North America. You have North America, South America, Central America. That's why it's referred to as the land of the north. It's also referred to as Babylon, Egypt, Sodom, and Assyria, and the land of the Chaldees in the Bible. Because all of those wicked places, wickedness is all combined here in America, not in the Vatican City.
Oh, yes. And also, where it says, for I have scattered thee among the four winds of the earth, that links right along with the transatlantic slave trade.
Right.
Because not only was Jake sold and distributed here, they were, being sold and distributed all across the globe, to the Arabs, to even the Chinese, when you do some research on that too, and to the Hamitic nations, and so on and so forth.
This is back in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 4. That thou, matter of fact, I'm going to read 3. And Isaiah 14 and 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from the fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve, that thou shall take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased.
Right, because it's not the America was once known as the place paved with gold. You know, that golden city where any nation could come here and become rich.
I mean, even all the way up till now, which we've been in the last days for years now, even all the way up till now, people, other nations thought, hey, they can come into America and make it big. Because they live in decent in their own country because of the imports to America. So they come over to America like, hey, I can go and work in America and make some money sitting home to my family, and my family will be well off, And they still have that same mind state to this day.
Not to mention, I'll bring that precept out in Deuteronomy. As far as the other nations that came over here, even though Jake built up the economy of this wicked ass kingdom. These other nations, they can come over here and make a killing. This is Deuteronomy 28 verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
And that's talking about true strangers there. That's not the Gentiles in the New Testament, which is talking about Israelites. That's really the other nations.
Right, because this place is known as that great melting pot,
Okay.
So all of these other nations can come here. They can set up their businesses. They'll put neighborhoods in Jake neighborhoods. So like they'll put up stores in Jake neighborhoods. And what does it say? He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. All right, because Esau set it up that way to where these other nations can get in well on merchandising and trade and things of that nature in Esau's economy, but he'll keep you Jakes, at a low estate. As long as you in a position of servitude to where they can control your finances, that's what'll allow you Jakes to get in that. But they won't allow you to be in control of bringing in economic wealth.
I got a quick precept. This is Ezekiel 24:6. Wherefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, woe to the bloody city, to the pot whose scum is therein, and whose scum is not gone out of it. Bring it out piece by piece. Let no lot fall upon it.
And that's why America is called the bloody city, because of the bloodshed of the Israelites in this land.
Right. And also going back to, he said this is the great melting pot. That's why the Lord called it the pot with the scum, man. Because basically all you heathen are scum. Even 2/3 of our people then turned into scum in this place, man.
Right, which is why they're going to be burnt in this land.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's all I had on that.
All right, so going back to pretty much, one of the main prophetic reasons why America fits to being Babylon the Great. It says that the chief city of Mystery Babylon is a deep water port city, because as far as America being, the city that receives a lot of imports, it receives imports from all of these different countries,
Yeah.
All right. This is an article, going to, America the Babylon, if you can see it here. And it's on the website called escapeallthesethings.com. And it says 60 reasons America is Mystery Babylon, not Iraq. So I'll just read a few excerpts here. It says in the passage of Revelation 18, verse 17. You know, as a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and read that first before I get into what they saying. Revelations 18, verse 17. It says, actually, you know what? I'm gonna start at verse 15. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. All right. It says that these other nations pretty much became rich through the trading with Babylon, with Mystery Babylon. You know. It says this passage tells us, Salakia. Before I read that, let me continue. And saying, at last, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off. All right, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? All right.
Right. What city is like a cried, not literally cried, but basically mourned because they're not going to have any riches like that anymore. Because no other city, no other country buys goods like America. Buys goods and do not even sell goods. America has a very low export rate and the highest import rate over any country on the planet by far. I'm talking about trillions of dollars America spends on exports as opposed to any other country spending millions and billions of dollars on exports.
Okay. All right, so it says, this passage tells us that merchant ships are standing off the shoreline of Babylon. These ships have either just unloaded in the port city of Mystery Babylon or are waiting to dock when the fiery judgment hits. You know, which pretty much goes to show that the Most High is going to have it set up to where these ships is going to be en route to on sea, you know, when America is destroyed, you know.
Right.
It says these ship captains, crew, and passengers are witnesses of the destruction. Question: why would these folks be standing on deck of merchant ships unless there were port facilities in this city? Answer: the city is a port city. In this day and age, especially by virtue of the list of commodities that are traded in Mystery Babylon, there must be at least one deep water port in the nation of Mystery Babylon. One thing can be noted in regard to modern day port facilities. In order for Babylon to have the kind of merchandise coming by ships, then those ships must be going to and from a deep water seaport city.
And the first scripture read was in Revelations about the whores that sit on many waters, man.
All right. Now it says, now here is the problem for Iraq equals Babylon theorists. Iraq has no deep water seaport.
Nor does the Vatican have a deep water seaport. They have to rely on ground to ground logistics to get their merchandise.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna skip to the next point. It says number 3. It is the key commercial nation and engine of wealth for the world's economy. You know, because it's not the dollar bill still the top currency as far as economic trade internationally?
I mean, the other countries, why all these conflicts and leading to wars going on, because the other countries don't want the dollar bill, the American standard dollar bill, to be the international currency anymore. They want either a basket of currencies or to make a different international currency. And that's where these globalists are coming in, with these other ideas for currency. Matter of fact, that's where this Bitcoin thing comes in at. It's another idea for currency, which we already know that the government or the bankers want a cashless society. And the best thing smoking right now for that cashless society is this Bitcoin thing. And it seems like all these networks are pushing, getting Bitcoin to as a stabilization to the money that you have. But no, Bitcoin is not gonna save you. Matter of fact, the scriptures say gold shall not save them at all, man, or their money shall not save them at all. Roughly paraphrasing.
All right. It says, I'm going to go up to Revelations 18, starting at verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
And like the apostles brought out, the chart of the imports and exports from the Vatican as opposed to the imports and exports of America. The Vatican was in like the millions of imports and exports. America was clearly in the trillions, in the upper trillions, and no other country is coming close. That's how much America purchases exports. No other country is even coming close to it.
Okay. It says in the article, in these passages, we see just what relationship Babylon enjoys with the rest of the world. Here she is clearly the critical factor in the world economy.
Hey. All these other economies are crashing because of what? The value of the dollar going down. Because when the dollar goes down, everything crashes. And that's why other countries want to make a different reserve currency. Because the dollar's value is so weak right now. But even if they change to a different current reserve currency, their economies are still going to crash. Because the other currencies, there's no faith in the other currencies, so to speak.
Says, when she goes down in flames, what is the lament? What was like unto the mega city? Who will buy our goods now that she is gone?
Right. Who will buy our goods now that she is gone? America purchases trillions of dollars from exports. No other country comes close. Who else is going to do that? Nobody. No other country even comes close to it already.
Okay. Who will buy our goods now that she is gone? The answer is that no one will be able to buy the products of the world's merchants. What does this tell us? It should be a clear warning indicator that whoever this nation is, the rest of the world depends on her for buying their merchandise. With her destruction, there is no one left to buy these goods. That tells us just how vital this nation is, and it means this nation is the engine of wealth for the world.
America is the engine of wealth for the whole world. If the Vatican City was to be blown off the face of the earth today, nobody would care. But America being blown off the face of the earth, one, the reserve currency is the American standard dollar. Two, America does more export purchases than any country on the planet. Three, America has its military in every other country on the planet, or in most countries on the planet. So, all signs point to America being Babylon.
It says, now Iraq does not now nor can it fit that role, at least in the next 30 years, unless the rest of the world is wiped out first. Once again, we see a character trait that Iraq does not exemplify in any way, shape, or form. And the fourth, point is it is the principal commodities trading center.
Right. And so, basically that's Esau already Xing out the old Babylon as as being Babylon the Great that Revelation is talking about. So they know it's not Iraq, the old Babylon. So it's got to be some other place. And then when you look at America, when you're looking at trades, America is the only one that fits the bill. It's the same thing as the Israelites being the only one that went into slavery by ships. The only one, you know. So, I mean, it ain't like the Lord made it a real mystery. He actually made it simple, but only to the men that he chose to get it.
This is Revelations 18:9. It says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her. So actually, these other nations literally will be crying.
Mm-hmm. Like they ain't gonna have no money no more. It's like on one hand, the nations want to take America out. On the other hand, they know if they take America out, their whole economy is done for. Everything that they have right now, they'll never have again.
It says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, at last, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
And it says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment. In other words, they're going to see from the other side of the world America on fire. And they're going to be afraid of it.
That's why, I mean, Russia not going to give a fuck, because Russia is at the point they ready to establish themselves as the power seat.
Good. Which Russia, to all you Russians, y'all ain't the next people to be in power. The Israelites are going to be in power next under Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Once Yahweh Shai return, all bets are off. And y'all ain't coming into power. This, for all you other nations, this was y'all power right here. This was y'all kingdom right here. Because y'all ain't getting no other shots. It's over.
All right. It says, Salaki, I guess I still got a more reread in the precepts. It says, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, keep that in mind, and of pearls and fine linen, and purple and silk and scarlet, and all thine wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood,
right,
and of brass and iron and marble.
Silver and fine linen. That's basically clothes, man. Clothes, woodwork goods, gold, silver. Everything is being purchased in America. Matter of fact, I was watching part of a documentary where it was talking about how many linens America really has. They got stores and stores of metal containers full of clothing on the seaports in like Florida and stuff like that, man. I'm talking about it's so much clothes that they got just waiting to be given to these stores. Is just ridiculous.
It's okay. It says, all right, cinnamons and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. You know, they still doing that human trafficking to this day.
Correct.
As a matter of fact, you know, the slave trade, more than likely, judging from what's going on over in Libya, you know, it's still going on to this day.
Correct.
You know, a lot of these different immigrants that you may think is Hamites, those may actually be Jakes, man. It says, and the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all goods which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. All right. So the point that I wanted to go into with all these different goods and merchandise as far as gold and silver, it says, these are the commodities in a list that are the chief trading products as cited in Revelations 18, verses 11 through 13, which we just read, for which the merchants and sailors are later lament that no one will buy these products anymore. This includes gold, silver, and copper. Now, on these items alone, there is more gold traded in New York City on the COMEX in one day than in all the rest of the world combined.
And that's just gold. Than all the rest of the world combined. And that's just talking about one of the things that America purchases from their exports.
It says the same is true for silver and copper and crude oil. In fact, the volume of trade is so heavy that in one day alone there is more gold traded than had been traded in all of human history up until 1974, when gold trading was allowed on a futures contractual basis. That is how massive and dominant the USA and New York City are in the commodities of trading markets. Okay. It says Revelations 18, 12, and 13 lists many other commodities as well, including grains and livestock. You know. Now Chicago is the host city for such record trading in that area. It is a port city as it sits on Lake Michigan. The fact of the matter, Iraq has no economic power. It has no ability to be the economic engine of wealth for the whole world. If Iraq vanished from the face of the earth today, it would not even cause a ripple in the world's economy. Just like the brother just brought out.
Right. And Iraq is bigger than the Vatican.
All right, so that's how according to prophecy, America only fits being Mystery Babylon the Great that John the Revelator saw on the island of Patmos through the spirit of Yahushua, revealing these things unto him. These are the visions that he saw, that is being expounded on, at this day and time,
Right.
So, what was that precept as far as, if you wanted to get any other precepts or finishing precepts?
Yeah, just this last one, Jeremiah 50 and 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? And really, I wanted to read that because it said the hammer of the whole earth, man. The Vatican is not the hammer of the whole earth. America only fits the hammer of the whole earth because it has military bases in almost every country around the whole planet. And it does the biggest purchases of exports than any other country on the whole planet. Matter of fact, than all other countries combined on the whole planet. So, that's all I just wanted to bring out.
All right, this is Isaiah 14 and 4. It says, Salaki, I'm gonna start out 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, talking about the Israelites, when we delivered from our captivity, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve, in Mystery Babylon, America, and all throughout the four corners of the earth, where we was put in captivity under the heathen, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. That's Esau being put out of power. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke.
And Esau. What was it? One of the brothers brought it out. America has seen no more than 12 years of peace since it's been established, and that was not all at the same time. That was at different times, different amounts of years that America has actually not been at war, and it amounts to 12 years as a whole. So when it says smote the people with a continual stroke, America has not ever stopped killing people. It's always been in some type of war or conflict since it's been established.
Right. I mean, and who is the people that are the heads of America? You Edomites, you red people.
Kind.
You know, because what was it prophesied of? That you Edomites was going to rule with the sword.
Kind.
You know, with your military might. It says, "He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruleth the nations in anger, is persecuted and none hindereth." You know, it says, "The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing." Why? Because, you know, once Esau is put out of power, you know, the other nations is not going to learn war anymore. You know,
right. And they're going to be. And remember, they got 1,000 years of slavery coming, and they're going to be happy about it. I mean, they're going to be ecstatic about when we give them that, you know, that fair shot, so to speak. But they're going to be happy in slavery because they're not going to be, they ain't going to have to go through all this turmoil that Esau is putting them through. They women ain't going to be over them. They don't got to worry about they houses getting blown the fuck up, you know. They don't got to worry about these devils coming in and taking their shit. Well, at least after the 1,000 years of slavery. Because, hey, when they in captivity, hey, I don't plan on treating none of you nations too well, you know. But it'll be fair. You Edomites, no mercy. None.
Says, yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us.
Right. And, yeah, Apostle Gabar brought it out. No feller is talking about the people that cut down the trees. No feller is come against us. Nobody that cut down trees come against us because America cuts down so many trees to make its paper and its newspapers and stuff like that. That I mean, they cut down enough trees to at one point they was talking about the what was it? The rainforest was in danger or something like that. But how the fuck is the devil gonna say the rainforest with all these trees is in danger, and they're the ones who's cutting the trees down?
When you can easily harvest the hemp of the marijuana plant to make plenty of paper.
Mm-hmm.
But then, of course, Esau wouldn't want to, you know, continually be crafting marijuana fields because otherwise then it would be left for him to legalize marijuana. Right. Which, you know, we're not advocating the use of marijuana, just
right.
Getting that settled.
Yeah, it's just a point.
Yeah. It says, and plus, you know, it says right here, as far as feller is translated as woodsman.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All right. And all they that shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Right, because these other nations is going to see these red people, these Edomites in slavery, and they're going to say, y'all used to be the big shot, so to speak. You know, they're going to talk shit against them.
Matter of fact, they talking shit right now. That's why Kim Jong-un is doing what he doing. Like, hey, you motherfuckers are about financially as weak as motherfucking Korea. I ain't scared of you. You know? That's what these other nations is on. It's like, look, you motherfuckers is just about as weak as us now, man. And when they in slavery, when you Edomites get in slavery, don't expect these nations to treat you well, man. I expect these nations to give you a side shot every time the taskmaster ain't looking. I mean, shit.
Right.
These other nations hate you devils too.
So y'all officially gonna become the new niggas.
Kind.
You know? Yeah, y'all officially gonna be given as a prey.
Kind. The new niggas without the Holy Spirit, man. I'll be fucking y'all up.
Right. It says, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? When you go into the actual meaning of the word Lucifer, it means light bearer, because who bears the light on the left hand side? They call themselves the Illuminati, which is these Khazarian Jews of the tribe of Amalek, you know, that have run the power structure of the world right now. Son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? You know, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will also sit upon the mountain of the congregation in the sides of the north. You know, so they're trying to do that through their space programs. You know, and that's when Most High had already prophesied in the book of Obadiah that once you set your nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down. So they're already trying to set up stations in space to where they can fight against the chariots, because they know that these chariots or these so-called UFOs are the things that the Lord and the angels is going to come back in, Yahushua and the angels is going to come back in to fuck this place up.
Right, and deliver the saints of Israel, deliver the elect and 1/3 of Israel.
It says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. You know, that's why Esau wants to monitor the entire planet, you know, with God's eye, and, you know.
Yeah, that's why they want to get this microchip implanted in everybody so they can keep tabs on everybody and know what everybody is doing.
All right. It says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, which means the grave, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms?
Right. Narrowly is talking about hatefully. She'll look up on you with the small eyes, like this fucking nigga over here, you know. Then they gonna consider, is this the motherfucker that did all that hell? Because especially when they see the bankers, the ones that's really in power, the ones that's really in control, they gonna look at you nasty, pasty face looking fake ass Jews, like they're gonna want to kill you. And really, people want to kill you fake ass Jews right now, man. You Jewish people, you Israelis, people want to kill you right now.
All right. It says, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. I mean, don't you go around doing drone strikes on these other nations? Didn't Trump, you know, send the mother of all bombs on what was it? Not Saudi Arabia.
Syria.
Yeah, Syria. Says that made the Salakia, that opened not the house of his prisoners. You know, it's not Israel given as a prey in this land, and isn't America have the greatest prison population in the whole world?
Right.
You know, all the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, everyone in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword that go down to the stones of the pit, as a cart is trodden underfoot. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land, and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. So once this place is completely destroyed, that's going to be the complete end of y'all rulership. Y'all ain't never going to get to build again, like it says in the book of Malachi. Though they shall build, I will throw down. You know, it says, for I will rise up. Salaki. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name, and remnant, and son, and nephew, saith the Lord. All right.
You're gonna kill your people.
So
Edomites.
all the starting with Amalek, who's at the top as far as the nations. As far as the rulers of you Edomites, all of y'all is pretty much gonna be taken and destroyed off of the face of the earth. Starting with America being Babylon the Great being destroyed, your armies being put down throughout the earth, then y'all being brought in slavery for 1,000 years, and then y'all gonna be utterly burned with fire. That means there ain't gonna be no Edomite on the planet, and also this side of the world is gonna be left as a desert. This, I guess, this will be the last precept that I got. This is Isaiah 13:19. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. All right. So just like ancient Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed by fire, America, which is Babylon the Great, is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire. It says, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owl shall be there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. And our time is near to come, and our days shall not be prolonged.
Okay.
All right.
So, with that, it's high time for you, Israelites. The elect is going to wake up one way or another. The Lord has already got his elect sealed. So, wake up out of sleep. We're around the corner from this destruction. We pushing the prophecy of the mark of the beast heavy because, hey, from what it looks like, the next year that shit is gonna be pushed, man. That shit is gonna come out, and Lord willing, it does. The quicker that mark of the beast prophecy happens, the quicker we out of here.
Okay. And with that, once again, we want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Honors and salutations to you brothers doing the work in truth and sincerity.
All right. Shalom.